So here I have the KNIME workflow that builds on what we had last time, and it follows along with the R code and video that we had before. So this just introduces the same formulas and nodes that allow us to get to the endpoint that we got to in the R code with the data. So things here are fairly similar, so I put a box around this. Sometimes that's helpful to make notes. So if you right click, you can add this new workflow annotation, and you can type somewhere in there something that you can keep for, keeping organized what you're doing. So this is mostly the same as the last workflow we had, but in the R code, you see that we had to manipulate the data just a little bit more, or clean it up, format it a little bit more. So we need to uppercase here, we had it down here before, and rename the columns. Then the new part that we're doing here, other than that, it's all the same. Then we are joining, so this joiner node, you have to know that it doesn't say merge, so you look up joiner. You can drag this joiner mode over, and we're going to have two different joiner modes. So first it joins these two tables, then it's going to join the resulting table here with this table. Let me just show you how you configure it. So we open it up here. You have to tell it what the match is going to be. So match this one to this one, so you can add additional ones, but here I'm just matching the product ID. Then we're going to include the matching rows and the left unmatched rows, so that's a left join. If you just do the top one, that means it has to be in both data frames, that's an inner join. Or we could include all three, that's an outer join or full join. So then this here, the merge join columns, that says if they're the same column, we put those together so we don't have them duplicated. And then column selection, we tell it which ones to include. So I'm including all of them from the first data frame, and I'm only including sales price from the second data frame. Okay, so once we have that configured, we can run it. So right click, then it turns green. We can do the same thing with this joiner. We just have to change the options a little bit. So then what we want to do is go ahead and create a new column, and we're using this math formula. So we can go over here and search math, and it has math formula. You pull it over here, and with that we're going to create a new column. So again, look at how it's configured. I just selected each column, double clicked, they show up here, I multiplied them together. Append column means add a new column, or you could replace a column if you wanted to do that. Hit OK. You're going to run that. That works just fine. Then sorting, it's called a sorter. So we get this sorter here, and we tell it to sort by these columns and ascending or descending. So that is the same as the sorting we did in the R code. Then we have a little bit of a difficulty with this lag part. It's not quite as clean in KNIME, but we have to be able to tell it to work with each individual group just like we did in R. So here you use this group loop start, and then we have this loop end. So it's going to run through each group, do this thing to it, and then end those loops. If you just had the lag column, then it would cross over loops when it does the lag, and over groups when it does the lag, and that isn't what we want. So we look here, configure it, and let me show you how we configure it. So we're selecting what to run the group by. So here I'm selecting product ID and customer ID. Notice it chooses how the order of these, so that's a little finicky here. It would be nice to be able to choose the order, but it chooses the order, and so it's going to run by product ID first and then customer ID, as they're matching together. And input is already sorted, so we can try and do that or don't do that. Here I sorted it that way ahead of time. So if you go back to the sorter, you can see that I sorted it by product ID, then customer ID, then date. or we could unclick that and it'll do that for us. Then let's look at the loop end while we're looking at it. So we only need to tell it like what things we need. So I just put the generate new row IDs because as it's running it goes through each group. You can add these other things, but I think this is the only one that's really necessary. Then in between these group parts, we need to tell it what to do. So here we're going to do a lag. And it's fairly easy. Choose the column, how far the lag is going to be. You can mess around with these to sort of see how it works. And then here you can tell it to skip whether it goes back and finds it or not. This one is the one that I think we want most of the time. But you could click on this and see what happens. It kind of is not usable for us, or you could remove both of these, and then the only thing that will stay in the data frame are the ones that have lags. So you can mess around with those. So then you would run this, then they all turn green. So we're going to do something else here. We're going to group, this is where we're going to do the cumulative, accumulate things. So we're going to sort, and it's the same thing. I sort here, then I create a group, and we can look here and you see I'm just grouping by customer here because you remember that I ignored the product information and just went by customer. It is sorted by customer and date. So it'll go as we go through the date. Then this moving aggregation is the thing that we can use to accumulate things. So configure here. And you see I'm going to take the sales total column. One of them is going to count. That's the one that we counted how many transactions there were. And this one's going to sum, so it's going to add up as it goes through that column. We can do different approaches to this, right? We can do a different window. We could go forward or centering on the observation or backward. If you want to know more about this, we can talk about it, or you can look that up as well. We're just using the cumulative computation, so we would click on here, and then you can't use these, but backward would be like the cumulative computation. Run that, and we have to end this loop. We run all of that. We get here, and a couple of things to notice. So mostly up to here, we have the same stuff. All of this is stuff we had in the R code. This lag part does the same thing. Notice we have the lag value. So we went from 2016, so in 2000, oh, it's sorted differently now. Well, okay, so we can look it up here. So here, L3, it's going to look back and see the last order for L3 was 12,351. So we had it sorted by customer and product before, so that made it easier to look at. Then in this cumulative, we're counting the number of transactions, and then here we're adding up all of the sales price, so the total sales price. So it's all of the same output as we had in the R code. The difference here is, notice it named this for us, so it's the sum of sales total and the count of sales total. So if we wanted to make it exactly equal to the R code, then we would go back here and rename. So this was the column rename. We could put this in here and rename them. All right, have fun with that. And as you get through this, you'll start to see what works easiest for you, but I think they're all fairly similar once you learn the steps.